Guys, welcome back to a new video. So in today's video, we're actually going to be building our own facial recognition model in Python, Tensorflow, Keras, and OpenCV. So this tutorial requires little to none knowledge of OpenCV, TensorFlow, or even machine learning in Python. I'll take you step by step into how to build this. Also, all this code is on GitHub, and I'll put the link to the GitHub repository in the description down below. So feel free to download the code and follow along with the tutorial. It's going to be a great video, so jump right into it. Okay, so pretty much we just have two main files that we need currently right now. Okay, so we have our main.py and then we have our har cascade. Okay, so what this har cascade file is going to do is it's just going to help us when we're recognizing a face. So it's not going to really help us when we want to identify who that face is, but it's going to help us when we want to recognize that it is a face in general. Okay, so just download this har cascade from my GitHub repository, and then also download this main.py file. Okay, so one thing you might see here is that I have this like from Alexa, import Alexa. So this is just a Python file that I created, and I wanted to add something onto this. So what I wanted to do is after it identifies who the face is, if you hit Q, instead of just quitting and destroying all the windows, it's actually going to go to this Alexa, and it's going to kind of use that data that it's gotten for who you are, and it's going to use that to specialize the experience for the Alexa. So I would highly recommend for you guys to try to do something after, kind of like I did, or just try to think of more efficient algorithms or things like that. But anyways, I just want to put that there. So now let's actually start looking into the code. Okay, so the three main packages that we're using here is we're using TensorFlow, we're using Keras, and we're using OpenCV. And then we're also using a little bit of NumPy too. Okay, so basically these packages are pretty like heavyweight. So if you want to, you can actually use like Google Colab or another online machine learning editor like that to do this, and it would be a lot faster when it's running and a lot more easier to run and efficient. So just put that out there too. Okay, if you have any troubles installing these packages, put it down in the comments down below, and I'll try to help you as soon as possible. Okay, so this first line of code, all it's really doing is it's just creating this variable, and it's just creating a classifier with that har cascade. Okay, so just think of this as initializing our har cascade and basically getting that data from our har cascade. So then now we can use that to detect faces. Okay, so just think of it like that, because I'm kind of assuming that you aren't really, or you don't really have that much knowledge with TensorFlow, Keras, and OpenCV, and that's totally fine. That's the audience for this video, or also if you do know, but that's totally fine. So I'm just going to really explain it very simply. Okay, so these three lines of code right here is just first, it's getting our video capture. So this is just initializing a webcam, and this first parameter is just the camera of the webcam. So for example, let's say you have multiple cameras, which I don't, and you want to record from another camera, then you just put that in here. So basically your built-in computer webcam would be 0, and that's why I'm using 0. You only need this other parameter for Windows if you because sometimes it'll throw you an error, and so you just want to put this in here if you're on Windows. But anyways, it's just setting the size and some parameters for our capture. Now some more parameters for our CV2 and our capture. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I will be creating an OpenCV course sometime soon, so be on the lookout for that. Now we're just loading our Keras model. So we don't actually have that right now. I will show you how to get this Keras model. We're actually going to be using something called Learnable Machine, and it really easily just creates a Keras model based on the data that we've given it. Okay, I'll talk about this a little bit later, but now we're just in our while loop. Reason why we need a while loop is because we constantly want our webcam to be running. We don't want it just one frame because you can't even see it. So yeah, this line is just detecting our face. So we have our face, and now it's actually going to get the x, y width and height of this, or sorry, not x, y width and height. The different like sides of that face, and it's going to actually create a rectangle, so you guys can see that. So here's actually identifying the face, and here's getting the length, like the actual sides of the face, so then it can actually draw a rectangle around that. Okay. So yeah, these are just resizing the rectangle and reshaping it. And then here we're actually predicting that face, like who that is. And we're using that with our model, which we just created here. So we're just loading our Keras model. And then this Keras model can it can just predict it with this built-in predict function, and then we're just passing our image that we see here. Class index. Okay, so this is the index of the class that is predicted. Okay, that's why we pass our prediction here. And then this is where our get class name function actually comes in. So for example, in my model, at least the model that I'm going to create, it's going to have Pranav side and Rohan side as the different in classes inside of that model, right? So it's by default 0 and 1, right? So if it's 0, which we know is Pranav, it's just going to return Pranav. If it's 1, it's going to return Rohan. Okay, so this is the actual text, because if we return 0 or 1, it's not as user friendly. Okay, so we get this text. So if we predict 0, we're going to return Pranav, and then this we're not actually going to use here, so we can actually delete this. And then we're just drawing our rectangle here, and then we're just showing our screen, okay, with this img original, which which is right here. Okay, so that's that. Then we're just waiting 1 second, because if we don't, we won't even be able to see anything. And then, so it's just waiting 1 second before we go back in this while loop. And then it's just checking. It's waiting 1 second, and then it's in that time it's checking if you press Q. If you press Q, it's going to delete this. It's going to close the program. At least if you don't have your other additional add-on like my Alexa. But if you do, then you can just add whatever add-on that you have, and then it's just going to run that with the class name. So it's going to run it with Pranav. Okay, I'm not going to talk too much about the Alexa because it's a bit off topic, but you can see how we get our class index here. Perfect. So I think that is a pretty good explanation of this code, and you can get all of this down below in the description. Okay. All right, so now we can actually load all our images into a model. Okay, so let's go to our search bar and let's go to Google Chrome. We're actually going to be putting our images into this website called Teachable Machine, which is created by Google. So if we just type Teachable Machine in our browser, it's going to have this first link. So just click on that. And you don't need to sign up or anything like that. Really, all you need is just a bunch of images and like the different classes that you want to have. So you just want to click Get Started. And actually, you can record all your images from this Teachable Machine. So first, click image project, and then click standard image model. Okay, so then we can actually create our classes. So each class would just be a different face. For example, this first one we could say is Pranav. And actually in the demo I use Pranav side, so let's use Pranav side. And then the second one can be Rohan side. And you can have as many faces as you'd like. You can just add a class here. Let me delete this. So, and then we can actually upload images. So what I'm going to do is I actually have some images in my on my computer that I can upload here. But you can also just use this webcam feature because I didn't actually explain how you could take all the pictures. So just click this webcam right here, and it's going to open this webcam type of thing. Just click hold to record, and it'll be taking the pictures. So let's try to get about 250. In my last model that I used is pretty efficient, and I actually added 500 images. Okay, so we can just wait a few more seconds, and the image samples will be at 200. But once again, obviously, you can just upload yours in the description. Okay, so we have our 202 samples. So now we're actually good. So we have this, you can exit out of here. And you can see we have all of these images that were just taken. Perfect. Now we can do the same thing for my brother, which I will do after this video. Okay, so basically we can just train this model once you're done. So for my brother, I actually have some images in my folder. So if you go to choose images, and then now you can click on the project that you're in, and I have this image folder with Rohan. So then we have all of these images here. So we can actually Control A, and then we can upload all of them here. Okay, so basically we can upload all those images that we've taken, and this is like 500 images, so this might take some time. One thing that you probably want to keep in mind is for a teachable machine to actually build your model, you have to leave the tab open, and it'll probably give you that alert, but just keep that in mind. So you can't really run this as a background thread. So yeah. So let's just wait a few more seconds till it hits 500. Just 80 more. And when you're actually taking the images, you can try to do it in different angles. It might actually help. But anyways, we have all our images here. So now we can actually train our model. Okay, so we can actually go to advanced, and we have some things that we can set. So if you click this question mark on all of these, you can kind of know what they are. So basically our epochs is just how many times it's going to train with all these data. So it kind of says right here. So basically right now it's set to 50, and this 50 might take about 3 minutes. So you can actually change this. It's probably, if you can find an amount that's going to be as efficient as possible, that's great. For now, I'm just going to do 50 because I don't want it to take too much time just trying to figure this out. But feel free to do so yourself. Our batch size. So this would just be how many images we're going to use in one iteration of our training, right? So it's not going to really affect it that much as it says right here. But if you want, you can play around with that too. I'm not going to change that. And our learning rate is it's the amount of time that it takes for your model to learn. I know, just stating the obvious, but I'm just going to leave like that because as it says be careful of tweaking this number. Okay, so really the only thing you probably want to tweak is this epochs because it's going to be more efficient as you change it to the correct number. Okay, so I think that's good. Now we can actually click this train model button, and it's going to train the model. All right, so this is going to take some time, so I'll get back to you when it's. So our model is finally done training, and it didn't take that long, but about 3 minutes. And you can see that we have this preview page of the model. So let's actually test this model before we export it and then use it in our program. So what we can actually do is we can click input on, and this is actually going to create a webcam here. Actually, so there's actually two different ways to preview this. We can use the file or we can use the webcam. Right now we're already on file. So let's just click choose images. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pick an image that I already have in my folder, right? So in our images folder, this is mine. And I just took like a bunch of pictures yesterday on my computer, like obviously automating it through Python. Maybe I'll put the code for that in the description if you'd like to see it. But basically, let's just choose one of these images, right? Okay, I think this is the image. Okay, here, let's choose better quality image. Let's try 59. Same thing here. I don't know, 6. Okay, it's still a little bit better. So now if we scroll down, you can kind of see that it's not as accurate as before. This is because you see how the images are actually different. It's not really used to this close-up image. At least that's what I'm kind of predicting. Is probably why it's not as accurate. And you can see these are more close up, and obviously we kind of look alike too. But like you kind of see how these are more backed up and these are very close up. So I would actually recommend to either do one or the other, rather than doing both, right? Doing both rather than doing one or the other. So either do both webcam or both upload. Okay, but you can see that if we go back, so we go back to our inputs, webcam, and if we actually do this, you can see it's actually 100% predicting me, right? Because even if I'm moving, whatever, it's 100% it's me. And then later I'll actually show you, I'll ask my brother to come, and we'll actually see how that works out, okay? So just wanted to show you that. I just wanted to show you the different ways that you can upload it, but I would recommend just to do both of the same. It probably would be a lot more efficient. But anyways, it's a pretty good model you can see in our live movement here. So let's actually export this model. So let's click this export model, and we're going to be using Tensorflow. If you guys can actually use like these other ones, you can see these out. But today we're using Python, so we're just going to do Tensorflow and then Keras. So Keras, and then we're actually going to click download my model. So here you can kind of see some like code that you might want to like test out and use. But we already have our own code that I explained earlier, so we just have to download the model. When we click download model, it might take a few seconds or even minutes if you have like a big model, but it should download fairly quickly for me because I don't have that big of a model. Okay, so it's downloaded. Now we can actually save this in this folder. So now if we go back to VS Code, you can see we have this folder in here, right? It's right here. Oh, what did I do? Oh yeah, sorry. We have to, it's over here. And then basically cancel. Okay, now we have our converted zip here. Okay, so here, let's actually go back to our files, and then we can go to the folder. And then with our converted Keras, we can double click on this and extract all. Okay, we have our converted Keras over here. And now if we go inside of here, we have these two files. So let's actually copy these and then paste them back out here. So now we can actually delete these zip folders in our extracted folder. And now we're actually done with our all our files and all our code. So we can actually look into this. So with our labels, you can see we have Pranav side, Rohan side. So when it's 0, it should be Pranav side. When it's 1, it's Rohan side. So we have some reference for that when we're getting our class name here. And then this is our Keras model. So this is really the bread and butter of our application. So we're actually loading this model here. You can see we already have it. And I guess this is actually a fully functional code. So let's actually run this and see what happens. Now, this might actually throw some errors just depending on the operating system that you have or the versions of the different libraries. So once again, if you have any questions or any errors pop up, feel free to put it down in the comments down below, and I'll try to respond to them as soon as possible. And yeah, so we don't have a GPU, so it's not, this error above doesn't really matter. It's finally loaded after a few minutes. It's probably going to be faster if you guys use like a GPU or if you use like an online machine learning editor like Google Colab. But you can see it is pretty accurate detecting that I am Pranav Sai. And yeah, so that's our facial recognition model. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the thumbs up button and subscribing to the channel so you can get notified for all of my new videos. So that's it for this video, and until next time,